It's good to remember, to remind ourselves again and again. We came into this world as a learning process. This world is not as real as it appears. It's a magic show. It is constructed that we can appear in this show, that we can appear as a character, as a person in this show, and at the same time learn to become aware, but there is always that aspect of us that is not affected by it, that is not incarnated, that is not limited by this world. Why do we come to a world like this? Because the self wants to gain experience. And with the experience, the strength, the intensity is increasing, essentially not changing, and yet something is always unfolding, expanding, growing, intensifying. And this world is created in such a way that we have confrontations all the time. Happy confrontations, joyous confrontations, but also very unhappy and sad, restless confrontations. And then it's very helpful if we learn not to be attached. Also when it's tense, also when the situation is not easy, that we learn to be aware there is something that is just watching the whole show, learning from it, learning from the emotions that come up, learning not to be overwhelmed by the emotions, not to be overwhelmed by the circumstances, playing a role in it intensely, beautiful, with full heart at the same time, being aware that there is something unconcerned, unattached, free, never affected by it. In this way, every moment is teaching us, is making us grow, is making the consciousness more expansive. And especially when there is intensity, then there is also intensely great benefit in it. It's good to remind ourselves. We're taking ourselves, our role, too serious. We're taking ourselves and what we think we should do and the impact we should have in the world too serious. And incidentally, the more we are capable to connect with the self, the less we are concerned and take ourselves and our ideas and think our thoughts what should and should not be, the less we take that so serious, the more we have an impact. The more we learn ourselves, and the greater the impact, the greater the influence is there. And positive, creative, beautiful influence is there. That's the magic is it. That's the amazing magic of it. It's not by feeling more and more concerned and thinking, what should I do? Should I do? Oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Sometimes it's perfectly valid to evaluate the possibilities and then choose, but not to get all tense and restless about it. That's something that we have learned to do, and we can learn to undo it again. We can learn that we can function also on this relative level of this world, being aware that there is something strong that is there like a rock, unaffected by the current of life that is passing. And at the same time, be fully aware of the story that is unfolding, of the situation, how they are forming and reforming, of the emotions that come and go, of the confrontations as they come, in connection with things, in connection with plants, with animals, in connection with human beings. It's a magic show, not to be taken too serious. And don't be afraid that you become incapable of acting on this level. The opposite is the truth. It's getting easier if we stop taking it so serious. But then that idea also is getting less, that I must be perfect. What is the perfect thing to do in this situation? And sometimes people talk about Mahatmas and say they are always doing the perfect thing. It's more that for a Mahatma, the idea of a perfect way of dealing with a situation is simply not more there. And they are in harmony, do their things, but Mahatmas also learn from situations. And maybe in a similar situation, the next time they may behave differently. But if you learn to be connected, then there is a spontaneity and a freshness in it. And that is much more creative and beautiful what we bring in the situation than the idea I should act perfectly. I should do the right thing. Of course we should do the right thing. If we are not always worried about doing the right thing, then the right thing happens spontaneously. Of course, we should not do bad things, harm living beings unnecessarily. But if we are in touch with ourselves, we simply don't do that. It's not something that comes natural. It's something that comes out of a twisted mind. But then the idea of the right thing, the perfect thing, you can forget about it. Just be natural. Be natural yourself. Then you're doing the right thing.